Once again on the same issue, speak to Dr. Richard Amoako. Doc, good morning, and I hope you're well.
Good morning. I'm doing it.
Great. And let me start by first asking on the list of promises to be fulfilled. How big a deal for you is this one that has to do with the scrapping of some taxes?
That one has to be done very carefully. So that's where your downfall will come from. Whenever you have to tamper with incoming revenue, you have to look at it twice. There's one thing promising, it's quite another doing. Government performance is not based on promise. Yes, it sounds good to promise you cancel this. I wouldn't even advise for people to be doing that. So you look at it. So if you don't kill it, it's still there. If you have 5 items and you look at them and you've killed 2, you've done your part. Nobody will fault you for not killing all of them. But to say that you promised to eliminate certain taxes, so you're going to do it, and where's your revenue coming from? That's the question. So you have to be very careful. It's quite one thing promising heaven and earth, and they are very happy. It's the same people who need services, and you have to have money to do it. So it is not entirely a good thing. Some of the taxes, yes, I agree. Betting tax, if young people, how much does it bring anyway? It's not too much. So if you look at it, even that one, I'll not cancel it outright. I'll reduce it. That's it. Okay, half of it. That's it. And let's see how it goes. If you look at all your revenue and your expenditure, that will give you an idea of what you should do, not just your talk. So I don't think it's quite impressive like that, especially e-levy. It was very contentious when it came. But once it is done and people pretty much have come to accept it, don't go and cancel it again. No. You can reduce it a little bit, but not cancel it. And where is your revenue coming from? That's the main question.
But the government has said in order to make up for this shortfall in revenue, they have amended the tax refund mechanism. And secondly, they are also increasing the 1.5% growth and sustainability levy on mining companies to 3%. Those they believe will make up for the shortfall. Is that to say you are not convinced that will do the magic?
The situation we are in, we need more. You see, we owe up to our ears. So just don't look at just your expenditure of now. You have to have more money so that in future you can do development, roads, dams. Look at electricity. You can't pay for it. So any little bit helps. You just have to talk to people. You've done some betting levy. Yes, there was too much. You promised on that one. So, okay, how much is it? I don't think it's too big anyway. It's just young people who are doing it. It's not too much. So that one you can get rid of it. But the others, you have to be very careful. Makes no sense for you to eliminate all these taxes, only to install new ones. Road levy, that's the worst one they did. Road levy. There was not much consultation on it. I think the minister did it himself. So when you come, you have to talk about it and then look at it properly and do it properly, because that one is needed. How are you going to pay for roads? So that is a legitimate tax. And the people who pay the taxes, the passenger drivers, they don't pay for the taxes. They put that in the charges, most of it. The private owners, they can afford it. So it's not a big deal. So that one, don't give a promise on that. It should come back better. Don't charge 2 cities and you take 1 city a day from the driver. No, that's not enough. At the time you subtract administrative fees and everything else from it, you didn't get much to do anything with. So if it's a lucrative way of raising revenue, keep it and do it properly. Don't give it too high and don't make it too low either.
But Prof, there are those who also suggest that all these revenues and taxes were in place under the last government. Yes, still, you don't see evidence of how what the taxes were used for. They were still not paying taxes. You in the Ashanti region have complained consistently about the lack of development or the stalling of development projects, among others. That it is not necessarily the amounts you're collecting, but how efficiently you use it. And you have also talked about the extent to which you even reduce your own spending in government. Are those not the keys, really, Prof?
Well, most of the time, efficient government starts with your expenditure, cutting expenditure, prudent spending, before you bring taxes in. Yes, that is true. And the taxes help if it's done properly. No doubt at all. Are we to say that all the money we collected was for nothing? No, that was not enough. Because the people, for example, who told the expenditure of erecting the kiosks and all of that is there. The electricity they use is there. The people working is there. You have to pay them. So if you don't charge enough, you will see that at the end of the day, you collected the money just to pay the people and pay all the expenditure. What's the point? So all of that must be looked at. So you know how much you have to charge. I'm all for that, because every little helps. You cut your budget and you raise these revenues, you'll be doing better. That's how it is. But don't get carried away and promise to cancel all taxes, this and that. No. Government lives on taxes. That's it. You have what is called sales tax in the U.S. Taxes, when you go to buy food, you pay tax on it. You see? I mean, is that what you want? That one is worse, because that means you'll be paying a lot of tax, because who they should have food? So the people are paying taxes all the time, to state government, to federal government. And so you have to look at it. Government lives on taxes. How else does government get money?
Now, Prof, what value would your words have if you make promises and when it gets to fulfilling it, you find an excuse not to do that?
So that's why I'll tell them not to make that promises. Don't make unilateral promises. We will look at it. Does not mean you will cut it. In some cases, the taxes must be reduced, not cancelled. You need the money, so you can reduce it. Make sure people know you have reduced it, and those who cannot, let it start. But the whiplash come when you first introduce the tax, especially something like e-levy. I myself, I would do from using Momo because of it. Up to now, I've never used it. So if I have to do it, I'll let my driver do it for me or someone like that. And it doesn't come to the same thing as I was using it, because I was sending money to so many people. But the increase was astronomical. You have to make it small, so you won't see it. And then you can have a yearly increase, gradual yearly increase, and people will not get upset because it is convenient, you know. And if it's not too much, why not? You are helping your country. But when you make it too big, like what people were talking about, you send 1,000 to someone and you have to pay 100 cedis. No, that's too much. And so that's what you have to look at, not to get rid of it. No.
Be that as it may, the president yesterday actually signed these bills into law, meaning these three taxes are off. What does he need to do to convince Prof that he has this covered?
Does he have money? That's what I asked him. Do you have money now? Because you got rid of it. You have enough money. We never have enough money. Look, the finance minister comes and says, I'll tell you, from about since quite a Roman time, we have run a deficit almost every year. Deficit spending, you understand? We chop more money than we make. So where is your money coming from that you are all first that you are coming to chop some of the taxes too? No. So look at it carefully. Right? The finance minister says this year budget deficit we behave as if deficit is part of the budget. It isn't. This year's budget deficit will be 4%. Okay. They won't mention the actual amount of money because it's a lot. 4% of GDP is a lot. Then they come and tell you at the end of the year, middle of the year, at the end of the year, come and read the budget. Give us a report. The finance minister says the deficit was not 4%, it was 11%. You are in trouble. You see? You are in big trouble. And this is what we've done all along, almost every year without exception. Deficit spending, deficit spending, deficit spending. No, you cut your coat according to your size. If you go and buy material for tailor to sew something for you, don't buy enough, you can't wear it. So you can only sew maybe a chocolate or something. That's it. So you have to carefully look at it. This is the finance. That's why we don't know what we are doing. We are not going anywhere because the money is not enough. The shopping is too much, and we keep going. Deficit. Find some money, you go and borrow it. IMF, you name it. If the money is enough, why are we at the IMF? Why would you be getting money from IMF, borrowing money? This is what you have to look at. And it's better for the citizens to pay the money small. They don't feel it, they don't see it too much. As you impose a tax because now you are in big trouble, you are going to pay 5% or something. No, too much. Taxes should be done very slowly, small, and the people don't see it. They don't complain too much. And you keep going. Every year, you add it a little bit. Add a little bit to it, and you keep going. So that's what I'm for. I'm not impressed by promises or cutting taxes. I'm not impressed at all. And what have you done? Did you really do anything? You just sign a paper, the tax is gone. Okay, we'll see. How do you operate a government when you're cutting taxes? No, if your budget is big and well budget to start with, the country is settled, then you can do those things. We cannot do the same. We need money all the time, water, electricity, roads, you name it, schools, hospitals. Oh, we are doing cutting what? Taxes, what are you going to use to do all these things? That's how I see it.
I see. Well, Doc, before I let you go, I want to take your thoughts on something that happened yesterday. Yesterday, the Minister for Energy actually received a report of a committee set up to look into how to make ECG much more efficient. I think what is being considered is some form of private sector participation in the work of ECG. On this matter of what happens to the Electricity Company of Ghana and private sector participation or privatization of some form, where do you stand?
Well, there are so many ideas. It's not everything that needs money. ECG can be fixed very easily if we are serious. But you have to have dedicated people, not criminals, to be in charge. I can tell you pretty much the earlier leadership was full of criminals. The managers themselves who were supposed to make the thing work better were not doing that. They were helping themselves. How can a whole container be missing over and over and you keep going like that? You've seen the report. And some people are going to go to jail. You know, if I see the ECG board chairman as a final back, and this thing went on and on and on and on. Now you are telling us what happened. Why are you telling me? What am I supposed to do? That is what your job, to stop it.